What if I told you that tennis's biggest rule change in 147 years was secretly designed to solve Coco Gauff's most embarrassing problem? A problem she accidentally exposed in a private conversation that went public, creating a scandal about cheating that no one connected to Wimbledon's revolutionary decision. Until now. July 2024, Coco Gauff, fresh off a heartbreaking Olympic controversy, sits down for what she thinks is a routine Wimbledon press conference. The question seems innocent enough. Are there any notorious cheaters you dislike practicing with? Her answer would accidentally reveal tennis's dirty secret and predict the future of the sport.
When Gauff said there are some girls, I had a conversation with someone about how some players on tour like to call the lines a little bit too much in practice. She wasn't just gossiping. She was exposing a systemic problem that's been poisoning professional tennis for decades: the weaponization of line calling to gain psychological advantages.
Here's what Gauff revealed. I know some people are gonna think it's Ostapenko, but she's actually one of my favorites to practice with. It's definitely other people. She was protecting some players while calling out others. The problem: these other people were cheating during practice, not matches. Think about that psychological warfare.
Reddit tennis fans immediately started detective work. We need names Coco, one user demanded. The speculation was wild, some guessed Koskuk, Zheng Qinwen, Cirstia, even Iga, but as one insider noted, you need to look at who Coco practices with. She never hits with Iga. The mystery players were people in Gauff's actual practice circle, making the betrayal even more personal.
Practice cheating is actually worse than match cheating because it's about establishing dominance and control. When players make bogus line calls in practice, they're saying, I can manipulate reality and you can't stop me. Coco admitting she avoids certain players because of this reveals how toxic the practice environment had become.
The tennis community went wild trying to decode Gauff's comments. One Reddit user said, "Who TF cheats in practice matches? What's the point?" Another replied, "Some hyper-competitive people are simply unable to turn it off. It's like a sickness." The speculation was intense. Everyone wanted to know which players Gauff was protecting and which ones she was calling out.
Gauff's real trauma wasn't in practice, it was in matches. Paris Olympics 2024, Gauff breaks down in tears after a controversial line call, saying, I feel like I'm getting cheated on constantly in this game. It always happens to me on this court. I have to advocate for myself every time. The world watched a champion cry over human error.
That Olympic moment was devastating because it revealed the psychological toll of constant line call disputes. Gauff said, then you guys apologize afterwards, and you guys say I'm sorry, but then what does that do for me in the match? She was describing systematic gaslighting, being told she's wrong, then later told she was right all along.
What people don't realize is that Gauff has been the victim of more high-profile line call controversies than almost any other top player. Dubai 2024, Olympics 2024, multiple French Open incidents. She's developed what I call line call PTSD, constantly having to defend herself against calls that are later proven wrong.
One Reddit user perfectly captured why Gauff's Ostapenko defense was so smart. Genius move from Coco. By saying, I know people are gonna think it's Ostapenko, but she's actually one of my favorites. Gauff protected herself from accusations of targeting the obvious suspect while making it clear the real cheaters were hiding in plain sight. Strategic brilliance. But here's what reveals Gauff's true character. Coco is one of the few players Ostapenko will hug if she loses to her. That's how you can tell they're friends, or at least friendly. Think about that. Ostapenko, known for being cold after losses, genuinely respects Gauff. When someone that competitive and honest appreciates you, it says everything about your integrity.
Then came the announcement that changed everything. October 9th, 2024, Wimbledon declares they're eliminating human line judges for 2025. After 147 years of tradition, they're going full electronic. The official reason: maximum accuracy in officiating. But was this really about Coco Gauff?
The timing is fascinating. Gauff's Olympic breakdown happened in July 2024. Wimbledon's announcement came in October 2024. Did they watch the world's #2 player cry over line calls and think we can't let this happen at our tournament? The optics were terrible for tennis.
Here's the smoking gun. Gauff's own words about electronic line calling. Before the French Open, she said, if you ask my opinion, I would say I prefer the electronic line system. If I had a preference, I would choose to play on the court, where the robots are making the decisions. She literally advocated for what Wimbledon delivered.
Gauff's preference for robots making the decisions isn't about technology, it's about trust. She's been gaslit so many times by human officials that she trusts machines more than people. That's a damning indictment of tennis officiating and a clear mandate for change.
The new system is revolutionary. Hawkeye Live reacts within 1/10 of a second, eliminating human error and human bias. No more line judges ducking 100 miles per hour serves. No more maybe I'm wrong from umpires. No more players crying over calls that are later proven incorrect. It's the system Gauff wished for.
The practice cheating problem Gauff exposed is about to disappear too. When every court has electronic line calling, you can't manipulate calls in practice because the technology doesn't care about your psychological games. It's either in or out, end of discussion.
For players like Gauff who have been victimized by line call controversies, this is liberation. She won't have to spend mental energy arguing with officials or advocating for herself. She can focus purely on tennis. The psychological advantage is enormous for someone who's been traumatized by human error.
Wimbledon's decision makes them the third Grand Slam to go electronic, leaving only the French Open with human judges. But here's the irony. Roland Garros is where Gauff won her second major, dealing with the stress of human line calling. Wimbledon, where she's never won, is giving her the system she prefers.
This isn't just about technology, it's about justice. Gauff has been consistently penalized by human error and bias in line calling. The electronic system creates a level playing field where success depends purely on skill, not on an official's eyesight or unconscious bias.
The players Gauff refused to name the ones who cheat, in practice by making bogus line calls, are about to lose their psychological weapon. Electronic calling eliminates their ability to manipulate reality. It's the ultimate equalizer for players who have been playing fair all along.
What's fascinating is how Gauff's transparency about practice cheating inadvertently built the case for electronic calling. She showed that the problem isn't just match controversies. It's a culture where line calling becomes a tool of psychological manipulation. The technology fixes both issues.
Gauff's courage in exposing the practice cheating problem, even while protecting specific names, was real leadership. She said, "This is wrong," without destroying careers. Now the technology makes the whole conversation irrelevant. Sometimes speaking truth creates the solution.
Wimbledon 2025 starts in just days, and for the first time in tennis history, human line judges won't be there. The sight of officials in elegant uniforms is gone, replaced by invisible technology that reacts faster than human eyes can see. It's the future Coco Gauff advocated for.
This change will likely be remembered as the moment tennis chose accuracy over tradition, fairness over pageantry. Gauff's emotional breakdown at the Olympics became a catalyst for systemic change. Sometimes trauma becomes the foundation for progress.
When Coco Gauff walks onto center court at Wimbledon 2025, she'll be playing under a system designed to eliminate the controversies that have haunted her career. No more crying over bad calls. No more having to advocate for herself every time. Just pure tennis, decided by pure accuracy. The practice cheaters she exposed have lost their weapon. The line call trauma she experienced has been erased by technology. Wimbledon's revolution wasn't just about modernizing tennis. It was about justice for players like Coco Gauff, who deserved better. The girl who accidentally exposed tennis's dirty secret about practice cheating gets to compete in a world where cheating is impossible. That's not just progress, that's poetry.